times have you encountered somebody that whenever you confronted them about they saying something offensive to you or something that's just downright nasty, they hit you with the most funniest excuse. They're like, I couldn't help it, that's just who I am, whatever. And they're very nonchalant about what they said. They weren't careful about what they said. They didn't try to formulate in a way that you may receive it. They just said it, just disrespectful, offensive, vulgar, obscene, whatever it is, explicit, whatever the adjective you want to put on it. It just made you upset. And that was their excuse for doing it. Just saying, yeah, that's just who I am. Let me inform you, if you are the sender or the receiver of that message, we have the responsibility to watch our mouth. Mouth control is at an all-time low nowadays. Nowadays, people can either type something to you on the internet, through a text message, or they can verbally tell you on a video, they can tell you on in person, and they feel as though they have no control over their mouth. We have the ability to guard our mouth because the book of Proverbs talks about us guarding our heart. Guard your heart above all else. Because what happens is whatever's in our heart comes out of our mouth. There's people that may try to tell you that, I can't control what's coming out of my mouth. But they can control the things that they memorize. They can tell you a lyric of one of their favorite songs, just verbatim. You ever get somebody who just annoyingly sings a song and you're like, how did you memorize this whole thing? Or a movie, they just memorize every single line. Our body, our mind is built with such a high complexity that it allows for us to retain information, and we select what we retain. But the thing is that our ears don't have a filter on them to where it can guard against some offensive things that we hear or that we've experienced that may have touched our emotions, but now we're touching other people's emotions with the thing that damaged us. So now we're not only damaged from the situation that we've been in, now we're damaging other people. Is that right? The other day I asked a question, I'm going to ask it again today. Does two wrongs make a right? No, it just makes more wrong. Because now what you've done is you put that other person in a position to either absorb it and show the God in them, or they can show you some wrong too. And then if they show you wrong, then you may be inclined to show them more wrong. And then it just goes back and forth. We have the responsibility to guard our mouths. That's why the scriptures say, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. That is a prayer, that is a psalm that you can use every morning when you wake up. Even if you feel like you woke up on the quote unquote wrong side of the bed, we get up sometimes, we're a little moody, or something may have rubbed us wrong, we may have ruined a shirt in the laundry, we may have overslept to where we are walking out with wrinkled clothes, whatever it is. Your kids may be getting on your nerves, your spouse may have said something that wasn't quite right, but it doesn't give you the license to hurt other people with your words. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Not, and this is for the people that feel as though, I don't owe anybody anything. But your body's not your own, the word says. This body that we have, it's going to go back to dust. Dust it was, and dust is going to return to. So in God's sight, is he pleased with the words that you're using? And more importantly, is the excuse that you're using for using the words that you've used, is it a valid one? Let's say it together. No, it is not. So the message right now to you is, if you receive that message, this is going to be really difficult for what I'm going to ask you to do. Turn the other cheek. Show them exactly what they should have done. A lot of times we're like, this person should just change. Let's show them the change. It's going to take all that you got in you, which is the Spirit of God in you, to come out and say, I really want to say what I want to say, but I'm not. This is a teachable opportunity. This is a teachable opportunity for me to show you what you should have done and be the example, the person who said it. it's an opportunity for you to say, I thought about what I said. I shouldn't have said it. I'm sorry. Will you forgive me? I apologize. How can I make this up? Or how can I be better at that? Or, you should have said something back to me. Why didn't you say it? Learn from the other person that's showing you the Christ in them. Because as much as we keep writing these licenses to do people wrong, you're going to find somebody, or I hope, God forbid, that you don't find somebody that doesn't care about having control over their mouths or over their body for that matter. Then it turns into a worse situation. So let's nip this in the bud. Practice some mouth control. Sometimes it's best not to say anything at all.